Hey everyone, my name's Landon Manuel, and I did my case study over 4D cinemas, and I hope everyone enjoys it. So, 4D cinemas are basically 3D movies with added physical effects that actually synchronize with the film itself. Some of these physical effects can be anything from your chair vibrating to rain, wind, snow, lasers, strobe lights, bubbles, smoke, and a popular one is different smells. Adding these physical effects allow the audience to gain the most realistic experience and make them feel like they're really inside the movie. So the idea of the 4D cinema came about because movie companies needed to come up with ways to attract people to come see their movies. The first official 4D movie was called Scent of Mystery. It came out in 1960. This film used a special machine called the Smell-O-Vision. This machine releases certain smells during parts of the film to help give the audience a better show. Next, in 1986, the science fiction film Captain EO, starring Michael Jackson, came out in 4D. This movie had some new features that have never been seen before. One of these was a 3D visual effect, a laser show, smoke effects, a star field that actually filled the movie theater. The film ended up costing $30 million to produce. Then in 1994, the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Audience was screened in 4D. The new 4D effect that was added to this movie was moving seats. So all of these seats in the theater are attached to a hydraulic platform that would move during certain parts of the movie. In Shedroff's reading, he talks about sensorial design, and I think that relates most to 4D movies. And a lot goes into creating and presenting different types of media. And the one thing to keep in mind while you're creating these different types of media is how it will affect the senses of your audience. And the reason why creators keep this in mind is because satisfying the senses of the audience are what keep them entertained and allows them to have a good experience at the movies. This is important when it comes to 4D movies because they affect more than just one of our senses, and that's actually what makes them interactive. And what helps stimulate our senses the most is when the special features collaborate with the actual film, because that's kind of what makes everything go together when everything matches up. In Shedroff's actual reading, he states, all sensorial details must coordinate not only with each other, but with the goals and messages of the project. So I feel like that's basically the same thing as having your special effects collaborate with the film itself. In my opinion, I think 4D movies were a success. And even though they're not popular in most movie theaters, I think they're definitely on the rise. And the reason why that they haven't made it into every theater yet is because they're very expensive to install. I found one article that explained how in 2012, a company called 4DX, it cost them $2 million to just install one. Movie tickets for 4D movies are also pretty high. In 2015, they were around $23.50, and in bigger cities, they can range anywhere from, 25 to $30 a piece. So when I first thought about 4D cinemas and their level of interactivity, I kept thinking about one of the readings we had to read for homework by Crawford, and he explained how interaction takes two different actors. And the example he gave explained how someone was walking through the woods and they heard a tree branch break and fall to the ground, and the person jumps out of the way to avoid the branch. And what he said in his article was, "I'm not interacting with the branch, I'm reacting." It's kind of similar to 4D movies because technically the audience reacts to the film, they don't interact with it. So this is when I kind of started thinking about ways you could make the audience interact with a 4D film, and I read a couple different articles, and some of the things I found were stuff like 360-degree movie screens where the audience actually has to physically move to see the entire screen, which would make it a more interactive experience. Another thing I read talked about how virtual reality could somehow make its way into the 4D movie business. But in the near future, I think the best thing that 4D cinemas can do is lower their ticket prices and then try to spread out as many 4D movie theaters as possible so more people can have the opportunity to experience that. Thanks for watching.